All right, switching gears, this might be a bit of a self-serving message, but nonetheless, here we go. Political nerds, start your engines. Again, super self-serving, because tomorrow kicks off Oregon's 2022 legislative session in Salem. Now, we should note this is a short session. It lasts about a month, as opposed to regular sessions, which usually last several months. But hoo boy, do lawmakers know how to overbook their calendars. These are the, wait for it, 260 measures filed by members of the Oregon House and Senate. Among some key ones, building more affordable housing, police reform, like in one case, one bill would require an officer during a traffic stop tell the driver they can refuse a search of their car. Some lawmakers are pushing for more protections amid the climate crisis by helping more people install air conditioning in their homes. There's also one proposal to pay frontline workers deemed high risk by OSHA up to $1,000 for the hazards they endured working during the pandemic. Now, keep in mind, every session, a ton of bills get proposed, and most of them, frankly, die on the spot. Only a handful ever even make it out of committee and then to a vote. So that in mind, with all of these bills, I asked our political analyst Len Bergstein which ones stand out to him, and he highlighted one in particular. That's it right there. It's House Bill 4002. It basically bans unpaid overtime for agricultural workers, phasing in hourly limits over the next 5 years so that by 2027, if those workers put in more than 40 hours per week, they get time and a half for their OT. The bill would also create an income or corporate tax credit for the employer tied to those extra wages. And Len told me he thinks this could be, his words, the most controversial bill of the entire session.
Why did you say that?
Well, I think, Maggie, that it has the potential of being so controversial because it identifies a real problem, a real and pervasive problem. We have 87,000, I think, folks that are involved in hand harvest, delivering food from the fields to markets. And so it's a very big group of Oregonians that are affected. And if they work in certain agricultural field work, they don't get paid for overtime. They wind up having very long hours and not getting paid in the same way someone else would get paid for overtime. So along comes the answer that says, we've got to solve this problem. We need to come up with some sort of answer. And on the other side of it are all the agricultural interests in the state that say, wait a minute, you're going to burden an already overburdened sector of our economy that we depend on, and you're going to bankrupt some farm. You just can't do this without having serious consequences. So for quite a while, legislators and these interest groups have been watching what's been going on in some states around us and have tried to come up with perhaps a compromise that would say, let's phase this in over a couple of years, 3 years, 5 years. It has elements of an answer in it, but it has elements of a real fight. And because it's kind of this core question of what's fair and how do we remedy this problem without bankrupting, some sector of the economy.
Our thanks to Len. Again, he's a popular guy. We should know we are just diving into coverage of this session, which again starts tomorrow. We're just starting coverage of this or frankly any other bill. So we'll have much more throughout the session on air and at kgw.com. But in the meantime, we want to give a shout out to those already trying to kind of let some steam out of the Salem tea kettle by sort of poking fun at how stressful these short sessions can be for lawmakers and for their staff. Case in point, this cooking tutorial, cooking is kind of in air quotes, by State Representative Dacia Graber. It was posted on Twitter today.
Welcome to Chef Graber's How to Cook a Bill for the short session. For the long session, we prefer to slow cook our bills at a steady temperature. For the short session, however, we'll be using a pressure cooker.
We loved that. So Graber, a Democrat out of Tigard, goes on to dump in like random ingredients, and she's like, this one's ideas, and then here's some negotiation. She puts in a healthy dose of debate and a dash of compromise. Then the secret ingredient, pressure.
Time's up. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh my gosh. Well, would you look at this? It's a perfectly baked bill. Good luck to everyone working so hard to make short session a success. See you in Salem.